guys, welcome back to my channel. So I have a new little guest here today. In case you don't follow me on Instagram, then this is the first time that you see my little baby. Little Victor came on the 18th of October, and he was born at I think 1:35 p.m. or something like that. Yeah, I think it was 1:35. He is so precious and adorable, or at least we think so. I'm pretty sure every mom thinks that, but yeah, we just think he's so cute, and everyone says he looks like my husband, which I completely agree. He's definitely the spitting image of my husband, which I actually really love. And I'm hoping he keeps it together for this video. He should be asleep for about 2 hours now, because he's actually smiling because he just ate, so yeah, he should be good for a while. And I just changed his diaper as well, so yeah. He's also 2 weeks old today, because I'm filming this on the 1st of November. And yeah, the past 2 weeks have been crazy and emotional and really happy, because I don't know, I've never felt this happy in my life, even though it's been quite challenging at times. But yeah, I just feel like it's so worth it. So yeah, I wanted to share with you today my birth story and a little bit about the postpartum and the recovery and things like that, and how he's doing. So yeah, let me know if you guys would like to see these postpartum like baby updates on a regular basis. I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to do them, but I'm gonna try. And not sure if you can tell, but he is smiling every now and then, and even though I know he's not consciously smiling, it's still really adorable. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get started, because this is gonna be probably a long video, and I only have probably about 20 minutes before I have no light, because it gets dark really soon here. So yeah, basically I had a scheduled C-section, because as you might know if you've watched my pregnancy videos, he was breech, and he did not turn by the end of my pregnancy. So we scheduled the C-section at 40 weeks as my doctor recommended. And actually, funny story, I was actually in labor when I went to have my C-section. So even though it was a scheduled one, my labor had already started. The day before I went to... So the day before my labor started, and we actually went to one of those NST like non-stress tests, and they could see my contractions coming quite strong. They weren't too regular, but they were pretty strong. I mean, they were quite intense on that scale that they have. And they said that my labor is most likely going to start really soon, and I had and I had the scheduled C-section for the next day. So they just let me go home and told me that, you know, if my contractions get really intense or if my water breaks, then I should go in immediately. But that didn't happen. I did have contractions throughout the night, but they weren't too regular. So yeah, in the morning at around 11 a.m. we went to the hospital with my hospital bag and everything set, and you know, they prepped me, and I think at around 1 or a little over 1 p.m. I was in the operating room, and yeah, it was pretty fast. I mean, from my perspective, because I was actually awake for the first part of the surgery, and he keeps making little noises. So, yeah, I think I was really anxious during you know, all the preparations and everyone getting ready around me, and I just felt really nervous because, well, I've never had surgery before, and I mean, I think everyone's gonna be nervous when they know they're having surgery, because it's not something, you know, light, something that you do casually every day. So, but it went by really fast, so I didn't really have a lot of time to worry. I was basically awake for the first part of the surgery, because they numb you from the chest down, I believe. I'm not sure, I couldn't really feel anything. And So yeah, I was numb from here on down, but I was conscious, and the anesthesiologist was right by my head and kept asking me, you know, if I'm doing okay, if I feel like I'm getting nauseous, that I should tell her. And I was actually doing pretty okay. I mean, I wasn't feeling anything uncomfortable or anything like that. I was just, you know, stressed and anxious about what was going on, and I could definitely feel them, you know, preparing me before I was completely numb. But I think from the time that they started, you know, prepping me and to the point where he was out, it was, I don't know, 5 minutes. I'm not sure because I obviously couldn't look at the time, but I feel like it went by really fast. But I remember when he came out, I heard him crying, and I started crying as well, because I was really happy to hear him crying, because, you know, that's a good sign. That means they're breathing right. And yeah, I was just really happy, and I started crying, and the anesthesiologist wiped my tears and asked me if I was okay, and, you know, if they were happy tears. And I remember they told me not to freak out when they showed him to me, because his head even now is a little bit like pointier right here than most babies. And I know some babies are born with a pointier head over here, but yeah, his is pointier right here because of the way he was sitting in my womb. And I think he was kind of pressed, you know, because he was right by my ribs and he didn't turn. So yeah, they told me not to freak out when I saw him, because his head looked a little bit, you know, a little bit weird. It wasn't really like perfectly round. I actually couldn't really see his head when they showed him to me, because you know, he was all bundled up. But yeah, they told me not to freak out, and then they brought him right to my face, and I kissed his little nose. And then he went to get, you know, measured and cleaned up and everything like that. And my husband was there for that. He wasn't in the he wasn't for the surgery with me, but he was right outside, and he went to his measurements and everything like that. So yeah, after I saw him, they basically gave me something to sleep. I think it was like some sort of gas. I'm not really sure what it was, but I don't remember anything after that. I just remember waking up in the bed, like in the ICU, and when I first woke up from the surgery, I had really bad chills, like, and I was shivering really bad, and they told me it's just like your reaction to really major surgery. And I think in about an hour I was warm enough, and I felt a lot better. And I obviously couldn't feel any pain because I was given probably a lot of painkillers, but yeah, I was a little bit high probably, because I know my husband told me that when I first woke up, he told me, you know, what had happened with his measurements and everything like that. And yeah, he basically just told me what I had missed. And then I think I fell asleep for a little bit, and then a few hours later he had to tell me all over again what he told me at first, because I couldn't remember. I think I was just too high from the drugs they gave me that I just couldn't remember what he told me. So yeah, that was quite funny, but to be honest, the surgery wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. I'm not gonna lie, the recovery was a little bit tough in the beginning, but yeah, it wasn't really as bad as I had imagined it to be. And they actually told me that because I have such a small frame, and he was quite a big baby, and his head was also quite big, they said that even if he would have turned, I probably wouldn't have been able to give birth naturally. So yeah, I guess it was meant to be. So yeah, he was actually, I forgot to mention, he was 3.6 kilograms and 57 centimeters, and I think that's about 8 pounds. Yeah, an 8-pound baby, which I think is quite big. Yeah, I'm going to talk about my postpartum and recovery experience, and then I'm gonna move on to him, and I'm gonna do that quickly because it's getting dark. So yeah, the first days were really rough. I think it was really hard for me to get up. Like the first time when I got up from the bed, it was really difficult, and I got dizzy really easily because I also hadn't had any food. So I think in about like 24 hours. So yeah, I was really weak. But I feel like every day it got a little bit better, and I think now that I'm 2 weeks, I can move pretty well. My incision doesn't really hurt me unless I strain too much. If I do too much around the house, then I can definitely feel it. And I also feel it in my back a lot. I feel like my back hurt a lot more than my incision, but yeah, I'm doing pretty good right now. And my doctor told me to take it easy, even if I feel like I can, you know, do housework and stuff like that. That I shouldn't, I shouldn't do too much because I could, you know, rip something on the inside, even though the outside is quite, is healing quite well. So yeah, I'm trying to take it easy. I was also really emotional at first. I feel like it's probably because of all the hormones, but yeah, I just, you know, had a few crying sessions. I was also really emotional, especially the first day home. I just felt like I came with this baby, and I felt like I didn't really know everything that I should know, even though I read so many things in books. And I felt like I was prepared before giving birth, but once I had him in my arms, I felt a little bit like I'm not sure if I'm doing everything right. I'm not sure if this is how I'm supposed to do this. And yeah, it was just really overwhelming. And I felt like, and I think in the hospital you have all these nurses and everyone helping you, and once you get home, even though I had my husband and my mom was here with me to help us out, but yeah, even though I had them, I still felt like I don't know, I just still felt like I wasn't sure what I was doing with him. And I also felt like I was really clumsy getting his diaper on when he was, you know, fussing, or yeah, but I feel like now he's snoring. I feel like now I'm quite, you know, quite good at it, and I feel like I can get it done really fast. I'm just feeling a lot better now with, you know, taking care of him. And I feel like now we've kind of learned what his cry means, and when he needs to be fed, when he needs to be changed, and when he just needs a cuddle. So yeah, I just feel like it's a lot better than the first days. I feel like right after birth, all of my, or most of my pregnancy symptoms went away like that, and I didn't expect that. I feel like my hands are not as swollen, neither are my feet. I just feel like I can breathe again, and yeah, I just noticed the other day that I actually don't really have a lot of those symptoms. And yeah, I'm actually feeling a lot better, and I'm actually sleeping a lot better now that I have a baby than I did in my last month of pregnancy. Because even though he wakes up about, I think, every 3 hours, he's even had times when he slept for 4 hours. So I think that's a really good stretch of sleep. Even if I wake up 2 or 3 times a night to feed him, it's still a lot better than my pregnancy when I woke up every hour to go to the bathroom. And even when I was sleeping, I wasn't sleeping comfortably because I was having contractions, like Braxton Hicks, and yeah, I'm just sleeping a lot better. And I'm not even feeling that sleep deprived, to be honest. So I think, you know, things might change, but for now I'm feeling pretty good. One of my biggest symptoms so far has been cold sweat during the night, and I think it's gotten a lot better now, but I would have, like, I would wake up and I would be drenched in sweat, like on my back, and I would be really cold. And I read that's a normal postpartum symptom, because your body's trying to get rid of all the fluid that it had, like the extra fluid that it had during pregnancy. So yeah, that's quite annoying, but I feel like it's slowly going away. My belly has also gone down a lot. I think it looks pretty good now. I mean, I'm not really that self-conscious about it, and I'm pretty sure it's gonna go down even more on its own without me doing any workout. Because obviously for, I think, 6 weeks you're not supposed to do any workout or anything like that. But yeah, I feel pretty good about, you know, how I look right now. Even though I'm not back to my pre-pregnancy weight, I still have, I think, about 5 or 6 kilograms to lose, but I'm not really worried about that. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna lose it. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's gonna go on its own. And oh yeah, right after I have a list of things that I did in my pregnancy, but yeah, right after my surgery, while I was in hospital, I didn't look at my incision at all. And I think the first time I looked at my incision was when I came home, and I was actually really nervous to look at it because I don't know, I just imagined in my head that it was gonna be really huge and hideous, and that it would scare me for some reason, but it's actually not that bad. You can barely see it, even though it's not completely healed yet, and it's really down below, so you can't see it if you're wearing a swimsuit. So yeah, I'm just really relieved. I was really relieved to see how it looked, because it wasn't nearly as bad as I imagined it was gonna be. So I think that's about it for my recovery and my experience postpartum. And as for this little one, as I said, he was quite a big baby, and he's almost back to his birth weight, because you know, newborns lose some weight right after birth. And he has lots of hair, which I think is really funny, and he looks really cute. He looks just like his dad, as I said before, and everyone says so, even on Instagram, even in real life, everyone says he's just like his father. Yeah, we've had some struggles with breastfeeding, which I'm not really gonna go too much into detail right now, because yeah, I'm just not really ready to talk about it yet, and I feel like it should be probably a separate video if I decide to do one, because yeah, it's kind of a long story, so I don't really want to make this video an hour long. So we are co-sleeping with him, but he doesn't sleep in the same bed with us. He has one of those beds that he has one of those little cribs that kind of attaches to your bed. You might have seen it in my previous videos if you've watched them, and he's sleeping really well in that, and I feel a lot safer you know, than having him in my bed, because I don't know, I just feel like I would be really paranoid about me falling asleep and rolling over onto him. So yeah, I just feel a lot better knowing he's there, but he's really close to me, but at the same time he's like in his own safe little place. He's a really good baby, and I think he only really cries when he's hungry or he needs to be changed, and even those cries aren't really like hysterical or anything like that. He's just kind of like little squeaks here and there, letting us know that he's hungry. We also gave him his first bath, which I'm not sure if I'm gonna insert those clips in this video, or I think I might make a separate video with like his first few weeks home or something like that, because I have a few clips gathered from these past few weeks, and I think that would be really cute to show all of those in a separate video. But yeah, he had his first bath and he was really good. He really enjoyed it. He didn't cry at all. He actually fussed around a little bit at the end when we left the head for last, because I read in my book that some babies freak out when you wash their head, so we left that for last. And when we did wash his hair, he kind of fussed around a little bit, but he didn't really cry that much or anything. So yeah, he seemed to really enjoy that, and it was a really fun experience for us as well. And he can actually lift his head a little bit. If I put him on my shoulder like to burp him, he actually lifts his head up a little bit. I actually have to hold him obviously, because he has to, you know, you need to support his head anyway, but he can definitely lift his head a little bit. Yeah, I think that's about it for this update. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm sorry about the bad lighting, it's gotten really dark now. So yeah, I think we're gonna go. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we will see you in the next one. Bye guys!